So you finally found the video, the one that told you you're not broken, you're not messy or unfocused. You're a jack of all trades, and that's your superpower. And it felt good, didn't it? Like, for real. Like you were just handed a permission slip to be exactly who you are. All those random hobbies, the 11 unfinished projects, they weren't failures, they were features. But then the video ends. You put your phone down, and the silence in your room gets loud. A new question starts to glitch in the back of your brain, a quiet, terrifying little thought. Okay, so what now? What if that permission slip wasn't the answer? What if it was just a really, really beautiful trap? That what now, it's a killer, right? Because for a minute, you had it all figured out. You updated your character sheet. Under class, you proudly wrote Generalist. It felt like a cheat code. But then you wake up the next day and the real world, which low-key still runs on specialist software, doesn't really care about your new label. All your friends are all grinding their main quests, the pre-med track, the coding boot camp, the design internship. They're leveling up, getting the gear, clearing the dungeons. And you're stuck in the tutorial zone. You've got a skill tree with 1 point in everything. You can speak a little bit of the language of the NPCs in the art district, the coding guild, and the marketing village, but you're not fluent in any of them. You have 100 side quests in your log and 0 main quests. That high you felt from that video, that was the party. This is the Generalist hangover. It's the slow burn realization that having 100 tools in your inventory doesn't matter if you don't know what you're supposed to be building. And that awesome feeling of potential, it starts to feel a lot like pressure. Because deep down, that glitch in your brain gets a little louder, a little clearer, and starts asking a new, even scarier question. What if I'm not a generalist? What if I'm just a professional amateur? Oof, that one stings, doesn't it? Professional amateur. Because it feels kind of true. And that feeling, that's not you being an imposter. That's not your anxiety talking. That's the glitch in the system. It's a system error message from your own brain trying to tell you that the identity you downloaded is a bugged beta version. So here it is, the truth bomb you didn't know you needed. You're not a generalist. I mean, you are, but it's not the final build. It's the character creation screen. It's the tutorial level you play before the real game even starts. See, the internet sold us this idea of the generalist as the finish line, the cool, rebellious answer to a world obsessed with specialists. But it's not. It's a trap, a comfortable, validating, and ultimately a stagnant identity. Staying a generalist is like playing an epic RPG on story mode forever. You collect all the cool outfits, you learn the first level spells for every class, you talk to every NPC, but you never actually enter the main boss room. You never risk it all. The real flex, the real main character energy, isn't knowing a little bit about everything. It's being the only one who can forge those scattered skills into a legendary weapon. So if Generalist is the loading screen, then it's time to press start and load the actual game. Welcome to the OS update. The real game isn't about collecting skills. It's about connecting them. And the players who get this, they're not called generalists. They have a different build, a legendary tier build. They are the synthesizers. So what's the difference? It's simple, but it changes everything. Let's break it down with a metaphor that will actually make sense. Imagine your brain is a kitchen. The specialist has a kitchen with one ingredient, carrots. But they are the best carrot chef in the entire world. They can roast, boil, fry, and puree carrots in ways that would blow your mind. But if you ask them to make you anything else, they can't. They only do carrots. The generalist has a kitchen with the most insane fridge you've ever seen. It's stocked with everything: artisanal cheese, exotic spices, fresh pasta, Wagyu beef, rare vegetables. It's incredible. But they don't really know how to cook. They can make a basic sandwich, maybe a simple salad. They have all the ingredients, but no recipes. But the synthesizer, The synthesizer walks up to that same random, chaotic fridge and sees not just ingredients, but connections. They see how the saltiness of the cheese can balance the sweetness of a fruit you've never heard of. They know the pasta making technique from their specialist friend can be combined with a sauce making philosophy from a completely different culture. They don't just use the ingredients, they fuse them. And they create a dish, a Michelin star meal that literally no one else on earth could have ever invented. That is the game you're meant to be playing. Not collecting ingredients, not perfecting one carrot, but becoming the chef who can invent the recipe that no one else can. Okay, so how do you spec into the synthesizer build? How do you go from a chef who's just staring at the fridge to one who's winning Michelin stars? It's not about trying harder or being more focused. That's boomer advice. It's about crafting your skill tree intentionally. There are 3 core components to your build. First, the anchor. This is your main, your major, the one you will go deep on. The original advice master of none was the bug. This is the patch. You need to choose one skill, your carrot, and get legitimately good at it. It could be writing, coding, video editing, 3D animation, whatever. This skill gives you your credibility. It's the foundation of your entire build. Without an anchor, you're just floating. Second, the catalysts. These are your minors, your support class skills. You do not need 10,000 hours here. You just need to be dangerous. Learn the 80-20 of skills that complement your anchor. If your anchor is writing, your catalysts might be SEO and basic graphic design. If your anchor is coding, your catalysts might be UI and UX principles and public speaking. These aren't random hobbies, they are strategic force multipliers for your main skill. And third, and this is the one that everyone skips, the forge. The forge is a project, a real one, with a deadline and stakes. It's the one thing you create that forces you to melt down your anchor and catalyst skills and forge them into something new. Don't just learn to code and learn to market. Build an app and try to get your first 100 users. Don't just learn to write and learn to video, start a YouTube channel and commit to 12 weekly videos. The forge is where the theory dies and the synthesizer is born. It's where you stop being a library of skills and start being the author. And now, I want you to look back. Not to today, not to yesterday, but to your whole life. Think about that weird obsession you had with ancient history when you were 14. Think about that summer you spent trying to learn magic tricks. Think about that failed YouTube channel, that half-written novel, that guitar you gave up on. Society taught you to see those things as a graveyard of your inconsistency, a museum of your failures. But they're not. They were never failures. They were you, subconsciously, intuitively, collecting assets. You weren't being unfocused, you were foraging, gathering the rare, unique ingredients for a recipe that only you will ever be able to cook. Every random rabbit hole, every wasted hour you followed, it was all part of the build. You were crafting your skill tree before you even knew the game existed. Your past is not a liability, it's your arsenal. The world already has enough specialists, it has enough people who can perfect the carrot. What it desperately needs is you, the one-of-one build, the chef who can walk into the chaos of their own curiosity and create something the world has never seen before. So don't you dare look at your scattered life with shame ever again. Look at it with purpose, because your real story doesn't start when you pick one thing and quit everything else. It starts the moment you realize you were never meant to follow a map. You were born to draw a new one.